Hello my beautiful geeks, how is everybody doing today? And welcome to the Geek Fortress. That's right, it's October, it's spooky out there. So I'm going to be bringing you today my top 10 scary movies of all time, or at least so far in my life. If you enjoy this kind of video, guys, please do not forget to give a really smashy like to this video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any videos that I have uploaded. And also make sure you turn on that notification bell so that you definitely do not miss any videos uploaded by your boy. By the way, if you do not see a scary movie here that you may like, such as some scary movie that may have a slasher, that is because I am working on a separate list that will be talking about my top 10 slasher movies. So if you don't see a Jason or a Michael Myers or a Freddy Krueger, that is why. Without any further ado, let's get right into it. At number 10, we have the Blair Witch Project. This movie set such a precedent for the future of found footage movies. Like, I remember when I first saw this out, like the trailers were in theater, I was like, oh my god, those guys got lost, they're dead. Thanks to Blair Witch Project, we had Paranormal Activity and all the 19 sequels that came with it, among other found footage movies that have become such a staple in the horror community. Even though it may not be everyone's cup of tea, I still believe that the Blair Witch Project is one of those movies that changed the formula of what horror was supposed to be at the time and got us out of the whole slasher thing. So yeah, Blair Witch Project flipped it upside down and said, here you go. At number 9, we have The Exorcist. Yes, this movie traumatized me. First of all, I shouldn't have been watching this movie at the time that I watched it, because I was just a lad. I was just a kid, you know. I shouldn't have been watching this kind of scary movies at all. So in the words of my mom, that's what you get for watching stuff like that. You shouldn't have been watching stuff like that. Thanks, Mom, thanks. I remember the first time that I saw, like, the face of the demon pop up, like, with a white face, with a black background. I pee right there. I didn't really pee, but I symbolically peed. In any case, it was one of those movies that definitely said something, just as the Blair Witch did. This movie made you be scared of what you couldn't see. Supernatural possession, demon possession, all of these things that you may have heard of in like the news or something like that, but seeing it in a movie and all the graphic stuff that it had, it was yeah. If you watched this movie as a kid for some reason, like me, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're probably just as scarred as I am. At number 8, we have It Follows. Now, this one is just, talk about changing the formula. This one, not only it's a horror movie, but it has so much social commentary about sex, sexual addiction, and so much more. It's basically an STD that is a ghost or a demon or an entity. We're never really given an origin story, and that is what makes this movie scary. No matter where you go, this entity will follow you to the end of the earth. It might take 5 years to get to you, but it will get to you. It will walk to you, but it will get to you. And I think that is one of the things that makes it so scary, because this relentless force of nature, it's following you, and there's no way you can get rid of it unless you do the deed with somebody else. I mean, even after you do the deed with somebody else, the deed is gonna get back to you, because once it gets done with the person that you did it with, it's gonna undid it and then come did it back to you. Get it? If you have not seen It Follows, guys, just watch it. I'm not gonna give you any spoilers in here. You should definitely watch it, because it's one of those movies that you're gonna be like, oh. At number 7, we have A Quiet Place. Yeah, imagine a universe where you cannot talk, because any noise that you make can attract this venom-looking beast that can come and kill you in one swipe. That is the concept that A Quiet Place got so beautifully right. The acting is exquisite, the lights, the cinematography, everything about the movie is just amazing. John Krasinski did such a great job giving us this eerie atmosphere. And if you watched this movie in the movie theater and you were sitting there and you were eating popcorn, you wanted to make sure that you didn't make noise, because the movie is so quiet that if you chew too loud, you could hear crunch, 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 slurp, 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 slurp. So it was a whole different experience, not just from sitting there, but also from watching it. It was definitely one of those movies that I feel like I enjoyed it more the second time around, but just because I didn't have to be so aware of the noise that I was making, if that makes sense. Because in the movie theater, even if I moved a little and the leather stuck to my booty and I went, I was like, they're gonna get him. A Quiet Place is just one of those movies that will have you on the edge of your seat. I did a review for it back in the day, and I will put a link up here somewhere so you guys can check it out. It's one of my early videos, so if you guys want to check your boy out in one of those videos, go right ahead. At number 6, we have The Babadook. Now, this movie had me thinking the whole time, because there's a point when you're like, wait a minute, is this thing real? Is this thing not real? What's going on? And then when you actually see that the thing that you thought was not real is actually the thing that it's real, but you cannot really see the thing, but the thing is there. And then you see the thing for the first time, you're just like, oh my god. The characters in this movie are just so complex, and one of them is a kid. And even though sometimes you look at this kid and you want to be like, the kid himself is such a complex character. The mom is a complex character. Even the book that you read from to summon the Babadook is a character that it's so complex. It's hard to explain. It's one of those movies that you definitely have to watch for yourself so you can understand the whole picture. And then once you do, you can be like, oh, I see what Lewis was saying. That shit crazy. It will definitely stick with you even after the credits roll, and you're gonna have to talk to a friend. And if your friend hasn't seen it, you're gonna have to tell your friend, listen, you have to watch this movie. John or Susan or whoever you're telling, you have to watch this movie. Just go watch it. At number 5, we have Wreck. Of course, America had to go ahead and make their own version called Quarantine. But a Wreck, for those of you who do not know, is what Quarantine it's based off. It is I almost call it a port. I'm thinking of video games. It is a American remake of the movie Wreck. Same premise, you're in a building, you're quarantined, you can't get out, there's people outside. If you try to get out, they will take care of you. And there's some sort of virus inside that is turning people into these zombie-like creatures. It's, again, found footage, and going back to Blair Witch Project, the most definitely inspired by Blair Witch Project, which was the one who, again, set the precedent for this. But the way Wreck does it, it's so immersive. You are watching the movie, and again, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time because you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know who's gonna die, who's not gonna die. Nobody is safe in this movie. And before you know it, the movie is over and you're just like, what? Nobody is safe. If you like somebody, they're probably gonna go. It's like The Walking Dead up in there. If you've seen Quarantine and you liked it, you have to watch Wreck, because that is what started it all, and that is the actual Quarantine movie that you should watch. At number 4, we have the original Night of the Living Dead. Yes, I'm talking about the black and white George Romero, The Night of the Living Dead. The original, not the remake from the 90s, not the sequels that follow, the original. Social commentary aside, this movie was just so nail-biting. It gave us the new type of zombie that we're used to nowadays. It still made you think that it was something that you might have seen in the past, like maybe like some sort of demon or something, but at the same time, it created a new kind of zombie that was not Frankenstein. And this zombie was coming for your brains, or your arm, or your leg, whatever it could put its gnarly hands and teeth on. You were gonna be gone if it caught you, and then you were gonna turn into one of them. The whole time you're locked in a house, and then you're trying to get not out of the house, but you're trying to survive, and you don't know who's gonna make it, who's not gonna make it. And then by the end of the movie, up till the very last second, you're gonna gasp because something happens, and you're gonna be like, that sucks. If you have not seen the original Night of the Living Dead, guys, I highly, highly recommend it. And I know I'd say that a lot, but that's because this stuff is so good that you should definitely watch it. Don't just take my word for it. Go watch it. Go watch it. At number 3, we have John Carpenter's The Thing. Who can you trust? Nobody. That's who. Because that person may be the thing. Or that person may be the thing. Or that really gorgeous husky over there is the thing. Again, a movie about isolation. You're stuck in a place and one of you could be something that's going to kill everybody, but you don't know who it is. So you're sitting on the edge of your seat the whole time and you're like, who is it? One of those horror classics that you have to watch if you are a horror fan. And if you haven't seen it, it's okay. No judgment here. Go watch it because it's going to change your life. By the time the movie's done, you're gonna be like, I need some fresh air. And that is what makes a scary movie good. A movie that you get so immersed into that you forget where you are and you're almost like in awe as to, wait, is it over? Is it not over? What happened? So check it out if you haven't done so yet. And if you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. At number 2, we have The Cabin in the Woods. And I know some of you guys may be thinking, wait, no, maybe that should have been up higher or lower, you know, like higher in the, like closer to 10. But this movie, in my opinion, is the perfect scary movie. You don't just get one monster or 2 monsters. You get an army of monsters. And the whole premise behind the movie, spoiler alert, they're trying to please the gods so that the world doesn't end and everything. It's being part of everything. It's part of a corporation that makes these things happen on purpose. And then the teens are the ones who choose how they die technically or what goes after them. Again, it's one of those concepts that you're just like, wow, why didn't I think of that before? If you haven't done so yet, check it out. The Cabin in the Woods is one of those movies that you will not regret watching. And again, it will stick with you forever, and you're gonna keep watching it and watching it and watching it, and you're gonna recommend it to everybody that you know. Before we get to number 1, guys, if you guys have enjoyed this list so far, please make sure to hit that like button and to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so yet. It helps out the channel a lot, and it is completely free. All it takes is a drag of the mouse and click, or if you're on your phone, use a tap. It helps out the channel a lot, guys, and make sure you turn on those notification bells so you do not miss any posts that I put. Now, without any further ado, let's get to number 1. Number 1, Scream. Even though I said that The Cabin in the Woods was, yes, the perfect scary movie, Scream is the most meta, perfect, self-aware scary movie. At a time where scary movies were just the same thing over and over and over and over again, this movie actually brought something new to the picture. It brought almost like a breaking of the fourth wall before Deadpool did it. This is about people getting killed and surviving a massacre by Ghostface in a world where our horror movies exist too. So there's characters who know about these movies, who know the rules to surviving a horror movie, etc, etc, etc. So it makes this movie just amazing to watch, hence why it's number 1 in our list. Even though some of the later installments may not have been the best, the original one is the one that changed the way a scary movie was looked at. Right after that, we got a whole bunch of copycats, such as I Know What You Did Last Summer, among others, that you know that got definitely inspired by Scream. Fun fact, Scream was originally going to be called Scary Movie. So there you go. Perfect fitting name either way, because yes, it is a scary movie, and it is number 1 on my top 10 of the best scary movies of all time. But what do you guys think about this list? Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree with my top 10? Do you think 10 should have been 1 or vice versa? Or 5 should have just been out of the list completely? Whatever it is, let me know in the comment section below. As per usual, you guys have been awesome. Do me a favor, guys. Stay awesome and geek on. Until the next time, this is your boy Lewis saying, spooky bye. I don't know what that was. Yeah. Spooky bye.